Okay, so it seems like Apple is busy producing and updating other products than the M3 MacBook Pro or MacBook Air we are all waiting for. According to Mark Gurman is a person that has a pretty good track record with Apple rumors. The M3 based Apple laptops are probably pushed into 2024, and some people think it might still be around the corner with maybe a desktop M3 based Mac, or perhaps Mac Mini or iMac, but this is just speculation. So if you're on the fence on if you're going to buy a Mac or not, I have some thoughts about this later in this video. If you think about it, Apple is probably busy with other products. The Vision Pro is soon coming out, and they're probably using a lot of resources on that product, I would imagine. And also the Vision Pro has an M2 chip inside it. I think wouldn't it look pretty bad if it suddenly an M3 Mac came along right when the Vision Pro releases with an M2 chip? Well, some people think that, but I'm not so sure, because Apple have historically had no problems with, you can call it cannibalizing other products. I mean, when the iPhone came out, it effectively more or less killed the iPod market, because the iPhone more or less took over the music player job which the iPod had. The iPhone 15 just released, and the iPhone 15 has a M3 CPU based on the new 3 nanometer process. But remember that the iPhone market is Apple's biggest revenue stream, and then comes actually services behind that. And then after that again, we have the Macs and all of the other things Apple does. So it makes sense that they are focusing on their main earners first, which is the iPhone, and they are focusing on the other products, so which is the Mac later on. But this is of course speculation from my part, and I don't really have any insider knowledge, but it's kind of seems like what Apple has done historically at least. So what should you do? Should you just wait some more, or should you go ahead and buy some of the M2 based Macs instead? Well, if you're afraid of missing out, I have a surprise for you. There's always going to be something new around the corner. We are going to have the same discussion as we are having now when the M7 is coming out. And the thing is, when M3 Mac releases, it doesn't automatically make the very capable and powerful M2 Macs bad. It doesn't automatically get bad because you have another option. The M2 based Macs are extremely capable machines. And if you really want the updated M3, but you need something right now, maybe look at the used market and get something that you could work with for a while. When the M3 comes out, you can sell it again, hopefully with a little loss, get the M3 or whatever you like afterwards. When you try the used market, try to find the lowest spec, cheapest M-based Mac you can work with. Those usually hold their value a little longer on the used market when you're going to sell it again. Compared to the more expensive specs, they tend to depreciate more, I believe. If you can get by with a lower end Mac, but you need more storage, you can just buy an USB-C hard drive, for example, and the problem is solved for a while. The M2 based 14-inch and 16-inch MacBook Pro is still really capable machines. There's nothing wrong with getting one of those today, even today. If we take a look at the M3 CPU introduced in the new iPhone 15, the overall speed increase, I think it was around 10% on the CPU part, and it was around 20% on the GPU part. The GPU is the graphics, and this can tell us a little bit on how the performance will be when the M3 CPU comes to laptops and desktops. But we don't actually really know, because remember that the iPhone doesn't have any active cooling, but the computers Apple have active cooling, well, except the MacBook Air. So, but the performance may look completely different on these actively cooled machines, or even the MacBook Air, because it's a bigger machine. It has a more surface to remove heat. So if you need more graphics performance, it seems like the M3 CPU could be the one to choose if you need some improvements on graphics. But for actual CPU performance, well, we don't really know, and I'm not really sure, but it doesn't look like it's going to be unbelievable performance increases. So if you need something now, you could get a good spec M2 Mac and just wait for the M4 or M4 5 or whatever, and take a good hard look at what you do on your machine, check some benchmarks, reviews, and decide out from that. Find out what you actually are doing, type it in YouTube and see if someone has tried that. maybe you don't need the highest spec one. I know some of you watching this channel want me to test the upcoming Apple products in music production and other things. And you know, this is not a channel that has that many views, and naturally the income from this channel reflects that. So if I have to test something, I actually have to buy it myself from my own pockets. And you know, I barely reach the minimum payout each month from AdSense, with is about $60 I think now. Again, it seems like Apple and computer related videos are the most popular on this channel, so I might just maybe switch focus, or yeah, tend to drift, lean to that instead. I like this video if you agree with that thought, so I know. So I tend to talk about Apple on this channel. If you want to see more Apple related content, there is probably a video suggestion there, and you can check that out. With that said, thank you for watching this one, and take care. See you in the next one. Goodbye.